So the Saw-related content continues. Over the last couple of weeks, you guys have been absolutely insane in regards to the support of not just the channel, but this series altogether in regards to my Saw content, which I have now proclaimed will be a constant on the channel. You have many videos coming to you guys very, very soon, of which one of them will be a series of videos on how to survive every trap in each movie. But in the meantime, I've still got a few more videos planned before we jump into those ones, so here we are today with our top 10 worst traps in all of the Saw movies. Now, these are my personal picks. I know that there are one or two traps on this, list that I think is going to piss off a majority of the Saw fan base. I'm a massive Saw fan. It's the reason why I love horror. The original Saw film was the first horror movie I watched when I was only 6 years old, and it is responsible for my love of the genre as a whole. And I've held the Saw series close to my heart, as you guys know, for many, many years. But at the same time, I do have a few unusual and unpopular opinions. There are about 2 or 3 traps that I'm going to have on this list that a lot of you will definitely not agree with, because they're traps that are loved by many, but at the same time, I have my reasons to it, and I hope that you guys will respect my opinion. Let me know down in the comment section below what your top 10 worst traps in the entire series are, or what your least favorite trap is. I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say, but let's get started with number 10. At number 10, we have the spine cutters from Saw 4. This is a trap that is allocated to Art Blank, the lawyer who managed to get so many people off and everything, and was even John Kramer's lawyer himself. Well, he wasn't necessarily the lawyer of John Kramer. He was more or less in a business sort of deal with Jill Tuck and John Kramer per se. He is a corrupt criminal defense attorney, and during the trial of Mark Hoffman and Eric Matthews, he is revealed to have something called the spine cutters on his back, that if someone goes through before the timer is up and everything, he will end up having his spine severed by the device on his back. Now, in saying this, the reason why this is on my top 10 list is because we never really even get to see the entire ordeal of this trap, what it actually does, because when Detective Riggs ends up going through the door preemptively with 1 second left to spare on the clock, it doesn't sever his spine. I don't know if there's something I'm missing there, but even then, this is such a flimsy trap where all he has to do is tilt his head forward a little bit or move his head back and everything, and it won't sever his spine. That's all he has to do, because the positioning it is and the prongs on it they're not going to pierce his skin, they're not going to sever his spine, especially in regards to very temperamental positioning of his neck and where his head is and everything. This is a very temperamental trap that doesn't even get to see the end result of it, because in the end, it doesn't actually sever his spine, as we can see here when Detective Riggs actually shoots him in the head. I don't know, this is just a very lame trap that had a really cool concept behind it, but with no end result, and it's just very temperamental in the sense of what's the end result, how would it work, and there are so many ways to fucking get around this, because I, to this day, question, why doesn't he just fucking take it off? I understand you gotta follow the rules and everything, but there's nothing saying that it will trigger it to go off like the shotgun collar from Saw 3. Coming in at number 9. Oh, this is an unpopular opinion. You guys are gonna hate me. But at number 9, I have the water cube from Saw 5. When Agent Strahm is on the tail of Detective Mark Hoffman, he is locked in a room and then continues to pursue his suspect on foot before being tranquilized by a man in a pig mask. Waking up in what is called the water cube box, he is going to drown to death. All of his stuff, his gun, his knife, and everything, his badge has been completely removed from him in regards to any way of escape, and now all he uses is a pen to give himself a tracheotomy so that he can breathe while waiting for help. This trap is fucking bullshit. While this is a really cool trap, and I do love this trap, but the reason why it's on my worst list is the temperamental reason behind it, that there is no way to survive. I've never been a fan of the reason of the people dying is that there is no way to survive. Detective Carey from Saw 3, you've got, Troy from Saw 3 and everything as well. When a victim cannot survive, it takes away everything that made the Saw traps intense. That level of survival, but one slip could mean death. In Saw 5 with the water cube, there is no way to survive, because I did some digging in regards to some behind the scenes footage of ways on how Special Agent Peter Strahm could actually survive. There is absolutely no fucking way that they actually got him out of there anyway without any physical harm done to him, for the reason that this is welded shut without a fucking lock on it. If you look at behind the scenes videos and everything and production videos, there is no lock on this goddamn trap of which they can bust open or unlock and everything to be able to open up and get him out. In the actual production videos, you see that it's pulling a latch forward and opening up because this is actually practical. I applaud David Hackle as the director and production designer and everything on this film for for making a trap that was actually real, where Scott Patterson could have easily died while filming this because he is actually suffocating while being doused in water with a box on his head. But in saying this, there are ways for people to escape this. There is actually an escape artist out there who did something like this, who actually had a contraption built where he is in a box of which is filling up with water and he's got to unlock it with nothing. And how does he do it? He uses his belt with that little thing on the end of the belt and everything, that little pin. He actually uses that to pick the lock. And I'm doing my video and everything on how to fucking survive all the traps in Saw and everything for Saw 5 because I'm already writing these videos. There is no fucking way they could get him out without that tracheotomy or anything. But even then, cutting this thing open, of which is welded shut, there is no way that they could do this without the glass shattering him in the face in regards to having to bust that open or end up actually, you know, taking out the water and everything. There is no fucking way they can get him out without hurting him. But he just gets there. There's an entire reason to why I despise this trap in the sense of its impossibilities to get him out even after he gives himself a tracheotomy, making this trap complete and utter bullshit. I understand the purpose behind this trap was to make him fail, but that takes away a lot of the anticipation and a lot of the factors of why these traps are so intense, and that's the sense of failure. That was a bit of a rant. I still love this trap, but that's why it ends up on my worst list in regards to this. You guys will very much so disagree with me because I know a lot of people love this trap and it is iconic. It's on the fucking cover art of a lot of Blu-rays for this film. But for me personally, the impossibilities behind this trap just really work in its disfavor for me. Even though I think it's a really cool trap, it deserves to be on the worst list for the impossibilities behind it. Oh god, I'm gonna get a lot of hate in the comment section now because of me putting this trap on the list. Oh well, the water cube trap is my number 9, I don't care guys. Coming in at number 8 is going to be the lawnmower trap from Saw 3D, the final chapter. What the fuck was this trap? I know it's a flashback and everything with this woman whose name I can't care to remember, but at the same time, why is she there? Because she was in an abusive relationship where she could have just left? Jigsaw. First of all, how did you set this fucking thing up in regards to it just being this bed of lawnmowers down the bottom hanging onto like these spiked bars and everything? But not only that, she slaps him and he falls and how's she get out? How on earth does she get out? She's still suspended above, and due to the sound design that we still hear in the flashback, the lawnmowers are still at full capacity. There is no way in bloody hell, literally bloody hell, because when she kills and the blood goes, there is no way in hell she got out of this alive. But she manages to. But the reason behind them being in this trap, which is a common issue with Saw 3D, is that she was in an abusive relationship. Just the trap's stupid and the reasoning's stupid. I don't like this trap. It's dumb. It's dumb. I just want to give a fair warning that in regards to this ranking, in regards to the top 10, there is no order until maybe like the last 3, like the top 3 worst. There is no fucking order. Because, like, these traps could all be equal in my opinion, it's just that I don't like them. Anyway, at number 7, look, I love the OG Saw movie, but doesn't mean it doesn't have a stupid trap, and that's the flammable jelly. This in concept is a really cool trap, very psychological, having to find the code. But my problem with this trap is the fucking impossibility behind it, and not only that, the variables in regards to how likely it is for him to survive, and his reasoning for being there, because of his lies and deceit about really being sick to get off work, I think? What? We've all lied to get off work and everything, walking about in the streets. We've all done that. My mother has done that. I've done that. We've all lied to get out of work. We've all lied about being sick in some way or other, but that doesn't deserve us to be in a death contraption. Like, my god, Jigsaw. John Kramer, this is the early days in regards to you just being a dead, you know, a guy playing as a dead corpse in the middle of a bathroom floor. This was 5 months before those events, by the way, because Dr. Gordon was being under investigation. At the same fucking time, the reasoning is absolutely dumb, and not only that, the impossibility and the variables of actual success is very, very low. Not only is he walking around on broken glass and everything, where, yeah, he could shimmy his feet to move the glass away so he doesn't die of tetanus or blood loss, but at the same time, having to find a code on this wall that is in a magnitude of random numbers is so unlikely. You have to be the best mathematician on the planet to sort this out. Yes, I understand in concept that in regards to the actual code, they are written in slightly bigger letters, but at the same, well, bigger font, sorry, in the size. compared to the other numbers and everything, but at the same time, in a high pressure situation like this, who notices this? Yes, the candle, he could hold it further away, but at the same time, when you're stepping on really broken glass that is sharp in your feet, you're bound to stumble with that crap with the flammable jelly. And not only that, even if he doesn't burn himself alive, he has been injected with a poison, and given the amount of time it takes for him to find the code, he is likely to die of the poison throughout his bloodstream anyway within that given time period. It is a massive magnitude of luck for you to survive. Mark Wilson didn't deserve this. It's so dumb. Coming in at number 6 is going to be my next unpopular opinion. The classroom trap featuring Troy from Saw 3. Being given multiple advantages in life, he still manages to wind up behind bars over and over again. So therefore now he has to pull himself from the shackles of which he keeps putting himself in. Finding himself in a classroom hooked up by the Achilles, the arms, the joints, and everything by all these chains he has to rip out himself to rip himself free from the chains of which he is shackled. He finds himself in a situation where, once again, it is impossible to survive. Would you guys notice that I haven't put Detective Carey's trap from Saw 3 on here? That is because there is a way I think you could survive that trap. So, therefore, that trap will not end up on this list. Neither will Seth Baxter's trap from Saw 5 in regards to the pendulum. I still feel there are ways for you to survive. In saying that though, in regards to this trap, Troy had the impossibility of actually surviving. Not only did, even though he pulled himself free from all of the shackles, he had that one through his jaw. There is absolutely no way to rip it away, and the door is welded shut as well. In regards to him as well, actually surviving the explosion with the door welded shut by maybe using a table as a barricade, I would still shatter it considering we saw the tables absolutely incinerated when they actually do the detective work in regards to the crime scene with all the evidence and actually cut down the welded door. In saying that, the amount of time that came afterwards, he would have died of starvation, blood loss, you name it anyway, even if he did manage to pull himself free from that one of the jaw, where he would have likely had to pull himself away by ripping off his jaw. This trap has a level of impossibility that I cannot fucking forgive. It is so dumb, and I understand it was set up to be rigged. I understand that, but it takes away the impact. It takes away the level of intensity to these traps, especially on rewatch. When all this information is unveiled and you go to rewatch these movies and these traps and everything, it just takes something away from it. Therefore, I can't connect or get as insanely invested in these traps anymore if they are absolutely impossible to beat. I understand that in concept, this trap is cool. The aftermath is a gory violence level of fucking beauty. You can say that a lot about these traps and everything and the impossible ones. But for the matter is that it takes something away from the effectiveness of Jigsaw's morals and also the effectiveness of the scene at hand on rewatches especially. I think this trap is cool in concept, but with the impossibility level of it, I just can't forgive it. I really can't, and I understand a lot of you really love this trap, and I know a lot of you are really going to pan me in the comment section for, you know, the water cube trap and this trap in particular, but it's just my reasoning, it's my personal opinion, you guys don't have to agree with me. Coming in at number 5 is going to be the Oxygen Crusher trap from Saw 6. This is very self-explanatory. You got William Easton in a trap where, you know, you can't breathe, otherwise it crushes your lungs and everything in your rib cage, making you suffocate. You can't breathe, otherwise it moves in closer. And he's up against a guy named Randy who is a smoker. I'm a smoker. This is personal to me. But no fucking shit, he's not going to be able to survive this. This is an impossibility towards the other person in regards to survival. And Nina mentioned, what if William did fucking lose? We're gonna follow Randy throughout the entire course of action? He wouldn't know what to do in all these other traps. What would he do? What purpose would he have to actually keep going? He'd just walk out the door and be like, goodbye, fuck all of you. These guys can just die or just stay there until something happens, I guess. I don't know. It's just the impossibility of just the prophecy of fucking Jigsaw at this point in regards to just being able to predict everything that's going to happen, just like Ryan in regards to the wire trap and Jigsaw, which will not be featured on this list, by the way. Oh man, I think this trap is cool in concept once again, but the fact that it is just so unfair to the counterpart in regards to their survival, and just this game is not meant for them, is just stupid. It's stupid, and from what I can tell, a lot of people agree with me on this case, that this trap is just unfair to Randy in every case as a smoker. Where was his chance at survival? Where was his chance to redeem himself? Not only that, it's a life choice. You can buy them over the fucking counter at your local Coles and Woolies, or even at your fucking 7-Elevens and Caltex servos. That means service stations, by the way, guys. It is a gas station for all of you who don't know Aussie's terminology and slang. But yeah, the Oxygen Crusher from Saw 6 is my number 5. Now, these next 4 are all from the same movie. Yes, that's right. I hate most of the traps in this next movie. And all 4 of these next traps, the top 4, are from the same fucking movie. If you watched my review with Ken Sledge, you know which movie I'm talking about. Yeah, it's Saw 3D. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the Pain Train. What the fuck was this trap? Oh wait, it's not even really a trap, but for some reason on Saw Wikipedia forums and everything, it's still listed as an official trap. The Pain Train is the trap that happens when Jill Tuck ends up fantasizing and dreaming about Mark Hoffman actually kidnapping her and putting in her own little Jigsaw trap sort of trial. And I think the only purpose in this trap was for death to happen to Betsy Russell as Jill Tuck by the Pain Train, which has an impossibility to survive, but mainly to show tits, you know, Betsy Russell's tits. I genuinely think that's the only reason they actually put this trap in there, because it's a fucking dream scene. And for that reason alone, I fucking hate everything about this trap. I despise dream scenes in movies like this. Jaws the Revenge with fucking, you know, Ellen Brody constantly going in the water and the shark attacking her with quick cut editing. Oh no, it's a dream scene. Oh my god, I think you just found my villain origin story right there. Dream scenes in horror films, fuck. But like, why would you put a dream scene in here? Especially with Jill Tuck. I understand she's scared and everything, but don't fucking fake the audience out like that. Nina mentioned it's like a roller coaster. What is this thing? It's like a roller coaster with a big razor blade on it just to be sent out at her. I purely feel that this was either made for the trailer of the film to show off the 3D, or for the reason of having Betsy Russell's tits in here. Because when she dies and gets split in half, you get a glimpse at her boobs. I think that's the only reason. Fuck the Pain Train. Now these next 3 could literally be tied for number 1. I hate all 3 of these traps equally. So don't consider the next 3 as more or less a ranking. Just know that if I could have a top spot, all 3 of these would be tied. But I had to put them in some order in some way or fashion. So coming in at number 3 is going to be the Sentry Gun. Yeah, that's right. Officer Matt Gibson dies to this trap because they're on the tail of Mark Hoffman and his little lair that was out the back of the parking garage from the horsepower trap with Chester Bennington. And then all of a sudden, when he's calling in backup, what activated this trap exactly? Was it audio? If so, they've been talking really loud by telling Hoffman to put his hands up, and it turned out to be the dead body of one of the victims from the horsepower trap. And then it just goes like, what the fuck? Like a sentry gun. A sentry gun. When did Jigsaw or Mark Hoffman become a full-on fucking serial killer? Oh yeah, Saw 3D, that's right. I hate Saw 3D. It's an entertainingly dumb movie, which I can watch in a hilarious fashion, just laughing at how incomprehensible it is, but does not make it a good movie. This movie's fucking awful. I hate majority of the traps in this. There is literally one trap in this movie I love, and that's the silent circle, with the fish hook and everything. But the sentry, why is there a sentry gun? And just to add one on top, some random officers die from a cyanide pill trap, where it just dispenses like cyanide gas. What the fuck, Saw 3D? Oh. Alright, at number 2. This one and number 1 I hate equally as well. But at number 2, the public execution. Okay, there are a few issues I have with this trap. 1, the reasoning behind Brad, Ryan, and Dina being in this trap is because they're in a love triangle where they will do Dina's bad biddings. Where's her chance of survival? Or where's Brad and Ryan's chance of survival just to fight it out? The point is, someone didn't have to die in all the traps. That's something that they realized even in Saw 5. Even Saw 6 has that issue, for fuck's sake, but there are ways of survival for everyone, which is something I am writing into my How to Survive Every Trap in Saw 6 video. But at the same time, they're in here because of a love triangle. Okay, if that's the case, sue me. When I was 16 years old, I was in a fucking love triangle with one of my best mates and a girl I liked. We were in a love triangle. Put me in the public execution trap, Jigsaw, because I guarantee you a large majority of people in their life have been in a love triangle in some way, shape, or fashion. And it's just stupid. But Nina mentioned, how is this trap set up? This is so stupid. From the audience people not doing anything, barely calling the cops at the last minute, using a suitcase to break the glass. I question, how do these people sit here and watch this and just go, ah! When, you know, blood splatters all over it, rather than screaming and throwing up or being truly horrified. But not only that, you've got the fucking fact that this trap was set up and it's happening in broad daylight in public. How? How? I need to ask that question. How was this trap set up? There's not even a cover covering the actual glass dome that they're in, or the glass box that they're in for this trap. How was it set up without anyone fucking knowing? How are they taken in? How are they set up in this trap? How does this work? I have so many fucking questions regarding this trap that is absolutely baffling to me. It makes no sense. This trap is so fucking stupid, and you know what? This trap is the reason to why I can watch Saw 3D all the way through, because it is so hilariously stupid. I laugh my ass off every single time I watch this film. But that's beside the fucking point. This trap is so idiotic, I just can't forgive it. But number one's worse. Oh my god, okay. Coming in at number one is also from Saw 3, and that is the Brazen Bull. Yep, that's right, my least favorite trap of all time from Saw is from an unwilling victim actually dying, and that is Joyce from Saw 3D being a part of the Brazen Bull because of the lies that her husband Bobby Dagan has been telling about him being in a Saw trap. Now her life is in his hands, not just get through the test in time within the 60-minute period, but he has to hoist himself up using the pecs and everything where he's stupid and doesn't stand on the hooks. But afterwards, she has this Mad Max X type dome come over her where she's done nothing wrong. She's a victim in this as well, where she literally has been lied to by her own fucking husband in love about being in a Saw trap this entire time for media coverage and fame. She's a victim here, Jigsaw. She's a victim here. Why is she here? Why does she deserve to die? But Bobby Dagan still manages to walk out alive and free and fucking whatever. Yes, he sees her die, and it causes him pain and regret and grief. But at the same time, this woman, Joyce, did not deserve to die, and this leaves a bad taste in my mouth every single fucking time I watch this movie. I hate the Brazen Bull trap with every orifice in my body. This trap is absolutely fucking foul, and I can never forgive Saw 3D for this trap. I feel so bad for Joyce. I really do. To a certain extent, I feel bad for Bobby. We all tell lies and everything. Not to that extent for media coverage and everything. But it's fucking stupid. I hate the Brazen Bull, and from what I can tell on the poll I put the other day, guys, a large majority of you agreed with either the Brazen Bull from the comment section or the Execution Trap. But yeah, that's my top 10 ranking in regards to the worst traps in Saw. I know a lot of you will not agree with me. I know a lot of you might agree with me. A lot of you might be actually reasonable in regards to the fact of subjective opinion. And if you don't, that's completely fine. Just don't badger me in the comment section. Like, it's fine. This is just my opinion. I know you guys do have different opinions. I know a lot of people really don't like the Angel Trap. I know a lot of you really don't like the Mausoleum Trap, the Pendulum Trap. I know a lot of you really don't like the, you know, the Collar Trap from Saw 5. Trust me, there are a lot of other traps I could put on this list, but I decided not to. So, yeah. Either way, guys, thank you all so much for joining for this video. What are your top 10 worst traps in Saw? I want to see what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or are you somewhere around the middle? Comment down below. Let me know. I want to see what you guys have to say. Do be sure also from the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and Twitch to watch my live streams and keep updated with your content coming to the channel. Do be sure also click the subscribe button and the bell to get notified when new videos drop every single week. Look out for my reviews of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series coming very, very soon. I put a poll up last night in regards to what series you guys would like me to cover next, and you guys, a vast majority of you, voted for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. I'll be starting from the second film as I reviewed the first film back in the October of 2019. And just letting you guys know, I will be covering all of those series that I had listed in that poll and everything. Don't you worry, I will be covering VHS, I will be covering Hostel, Paranormal Activity, and Cube. Don't you guys worry, because you guys have really been requesting those videos. But guys, thank you so much for joining. Look out for those videos very soon, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.